Hello folks, this is Bill from Little White Dory, and I have some things that are happening. Let's see if I can get them to happen where I want. There you go. My plants have some issues, and I don't know if it's that easy to see, but there's you can see the veins. I think if I turn them over the back, no, they're not purple in the back. Stems are okay-ish, but I'm starting to get things that I don't like. And I'm doing this whole project to learn. And everything I read, or at least that I've looked up, points to that there's so many different things that could be causing problems. For instance, these leaves are a little curled. And I've read that that could be overwatering. It's possible. These are peppers, and there's a little yellowing. Thought that would be iron, but I changed, or I added some iron tone. I also have some sort of anemic looking plants. Again, more of the yellowing on the leaf. And these are tomatoes. A lot of them are heirloom tomatoes. I don't know if that matters. But you can see the leaves have different indications that, you know, well, then there's some that are better than others. Let me just come out and show some of the stuff out here. You know, here's a good example of the leaves curling. Some of them have just yellowed a lot. I mean, there's a couple in here that didn't really take off too well. I don't know. More yellowing. And then I have some that did really, really well. I mean, here it's looking good, but it's starting to curl. So I took these and put them out in full sun. The soil is pretty dry. I mean, it's not bone dry, but it's not wet. Some of this stuff I just transplanted today. So here's another example of, you know, the leaves are curling. And of course they do have some discoloration as well. More over here. Now these are a different situation. This one you can see that there's, you know, browning, literally just browning. These are a red cherry. Again, more curling. And it's not maybe the easiest to detect, but there's definitely, you know, shades of yellow, not as healthy green. And I thought maybe it was that it was just not getting enough sunlight. We had several days where it was kind of cold, maybe 44, 43 degrees and wet. Not the ideal conditions, but you know, I only have so much space that I can keep these things. It's not a panic. I mean, the whole purpose of this really was a learning experience for me. Zoom down in here, and you can kind of see that, you know, the veins are showing noticeably. There's another one here that you can see that there's, you know, spotting. And I didn't want to overdo things. The only thing I really did was let me walk to the front where the main trailer is. Sorry if it's shaky, but I don't have a gimbal. I have been selling, which is the upside. People have been stopping, and you know, people are buying the tomatoes, tomato plants, excuse me. And you know, it's working. I don't expect to become a millionaire, but you know, things are happening. As I come out here, you know, I look down and again, you can see that leaves are turning. Not all. I mean, there's certainly plenty of really healthy looking tomato plants in here. Although, you know, when I dig down in, you'll see that there's some that have discoloration. I don't really have a tomato guru other than Dr. Google Pants. And what I've been looking up on there, sorry for all the traffic. It's just like 6 o'clock and a lot of rush hour coming home traffic. You know, just not what I would consider to be catastrophic problems. I think that a lot of these, once they'd be planted into the ground, would probably just bounce right back under, you know, normal circumstances. Some, like, you know, over here, I think that there's very little yellowing. These are all nice and green. I'm just kind of trying to look around to see examples of, you know, the types of spotting. And you can see, you know, some of them are just not great. But by and large, they're all growing. I think the most common problem I'm seeing is where the leaves are curling. And like I said, that's the one thing I said that I saw. They said it may be too much watering. Like, I can't be sure that it's something I've done so much as, let me see if I can get in there a little closer. You know, they're plants that if I were to bring them home from the supermarket or wherever I would buy them, I'd throw them in the ground. They probably would look a little funky for a little while, and typically once the temperatures warm up, and as far as watering goes, once that kind of takes place on a regular basis naturally, you know, I would say that it's good. We have a local supermarket here that has like a impromptu car show, and for anybody who's into cars, there's another good example. I mean, that's not yellow, that's like brown. It's not something that I can flake off. It's funny because the back almost looks better than the front. And it's not so much as that I am concerned that this has happened. What I'd like to just do is learn, how do I prevent it from happening more? And is there something I can do to correct it? Meaning short notice. Now, I would admit that some of this stuff is kind of packed in here kind of tight, and I was thinking that maybe that's part of the problem, that it's not enough air circulating, but I didn't think it was that tight. You know, just, I guess it's more noticeable. One of the things that I read was perhaps to spray in a fold. Okay, folks, that was just a little bit of a interlude. We had a phone call come through, so I guess I had to stop the video or whatever, I don't know. So what I was saying was that I read that it could be possibly the lack of potassium or the uptake of potassium. Now, I've been trying to use what I would call organic fertilizers. I've only used Iron Tone and Garden Tone from Epsoma. I didn't want to get into too much, but I'm guessing maybe that I either didn't use the stuff I should have or should be using something different. But, you know, they're growing. Obviously, a plant that looks like this, which has got some nice growth to it. It's not puny. It's not, you know, it doesn't have a lot of leaves, but the top is looking fine. Maybe a little curling going on. That, you know, they're not total failures, but something could be better. So hopefully, if anybody's watching this and has a thought or a theory, pass it along. I'd love to know. Alrighty, folks. Sorry for that interruption. We're exhausted. It's now about 7 p.m. and I've been out at this since about 9 o'clock this morning. The state of the homestead is good. You can see the girls are out in their evening stroll. I see one of the older girls, but generally they go to bed earlier. Alright, folks, I hope it's nice out wherever you are. I hope you're having a good middle of May. I know I am. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the alarm if you want to know when I send out a new video. And by all means, please leave a comment. Even if it's something just part of your experiences with tomatoes, or direction to head if you've got any good suggestions. I mean, I've been checking out things on the internet, YouTube and Mr. Google Pants, but any help is appreciated. Any thoughts, comments, we'll take them. Alrighty, folks, so long.